Optimize axis is the best way to go. Highlight whichever parameters you want to transform, and then use these little scroll bars, or you can even type it in down here, to change the way the data is displayed. It doesn't change the numbers, only the visualization. Once you create a series of gates, you end up with a gating hierarchy or a gating tree. The relationship, as we refer to in the statistical nodes, is that the child population, the gate down below is a child population of the parent above, and if you have multiple gates at the same node or same gating level, those are considered siblings. The layout editor is a tool for visualizing the data, and you can get there by typing Command L, or the layout editor icon is located in the static toolbar up here, or it's in the navigate pane under the FlowJo tab. It'll open up a new FlowJo layout window with a blank layout, and to get your data in or to visually display plots, you want to drag and drop the populations of interest onto the layout. Similar to working within the workspace, the layout editor has its own set of 5 tabs, and each tab will give you access to different bands of actions. This is, again, configurable to your liking, using this ribbon configuration button over here. Try clicking on the different tabs to see what types of actions are available. Within the layout editor, you can organize and reformat your data. You can make text boxes, draw arrows, change the way the data is displayed. You can also change all of the formatting, either the size, text style, text color, how the legend is displayed. And I'm going to show you, at least partially, how to go through that and do that. Clicking on a graph once selects an object. Double-clicking brings up a new window, which in and of itself has 4 tabs, and you can modify all of the preferences, the visual preferences of the graph window in that layout. And I'm going to show you how to do that. If you right-click on the graph when it's highlighted, it'll also give you additional drop-down information, which differs depending on the type of graph, and I'll show you some of those options. I'll reiterate it over and over. And then once you have something that you want to show to your boss or your colleague, you can batch the graphics in the layout using this batch report tool, and we'll show you how to do that. So I can batch it by sample, or I can batch it by keyword. You have to select the group you want to batch through, how to iterate, and then it'll show you a drop-down menu of all of the samples or the keyword displays, and I'll show you how to do that. Select where it's going to go, in this case to a new layout, but you can go directly to a PDF or a PowerPoint file, or to an HTML preview that will just open in your web browser. We'll go through a couple of these options right now. I'm showing that right here. So yeah, layout, printer, web page, PowerPoint, PDF, select from the drop-down, how to iterate, what group to iterate. We had to actually get our gates approved by the coordinator and the assistant director to move forward with exporting statistics for our PIs that were doing the project. So we start by making a basic gating layout, and in this case I'm going to open the layout editor by clicking on the icon. It gives me a new window, and then I'm going to drag populations and statistics here. Try and get some real estate here to work with. Okay. So first I'm just going to grab all of the information down to my CD8 positive T cell population. If I do that at one time, then it gives me these nice plots. I can zoom out and I can see the various plots and the way they're displayed. There are page breaks here. I can either grab the corner and move the page break, or I find it even easier to go to the File tab and hit Scale to Page. And then it'll get, drag and drop all your stuff and just scale the whole thing to page. You don't have to worry about it. This was great. I don't like the way that histogram is in there. That's because it was on a histogram when I applied the entire gating tree. If I hadn't been messing around with it, it would show my dot plot. But I can easily change that by selecting the plot that I want to change and either double-clicking, and it'll bring up my graph definition window with 4 available tabs to change the information displayed, or I can right-click and it'll give me a number of different options. In this case, I want to go to Properties, Command I, which is the same graph definition. So either way gets you there. You can highlight multiples, and then you can go to Properties, but I don't want to change the x-axis displays here, because then it's going to make all those axes be the same, and I want it to be different. So if I highlight multiple things, I can go ahead and change the annotation, or the fonts, or the legend display, and click Apply, and everything, the axes will stay the same. But if I'm going to change anything on this Specify tab, such as the axes or the style, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it on multiple graph windows. I want to do it just on the one I want to change. So in this case, double-click on histogram, change that back to a pseudocolor.plot, and apply. CD3, we were gating against HLADR. So, okay, now I'm back to where I was. If I want to make it even simpler on myself to show a gating tree, I can take my CD8 positive T cell population, instead of showing all these full-size plots, I can right-click, go down to Ancestry, and it'll show me thumbnails of my entire gating tree, and I can match that. So it's a one-click Ancestry. Is a right-click away. You can also change that, show the backdating for that population. You can also show all your n-by-n plots. And I can blow those up if I want to show all parameters against all parameters. For right now, I can unselect that if I choose so. It's gone. And then I'm going to duplicate this CD8 T cell positive T cell population 3 times. Well, twice, because I already have perforin displayed there. I can right-click and copy and paste, or I can duplicate it, right? Duplicate, I can go copy, paste, or I can even hold down Option and drag, and it'll all duplicate. So there's many ways to skin a cat, or many ways to duplicate your plot. And then on each one, I'm going to change the marker now, so I can actually display that. I'm going to go CD8 to interferon gamma, okay, and CD8 versus ERK. There we go. So now I have my populations of interest, and I'm showing my boss how I got there. Command A will grab everything. You can also do a sweeping motion to grab any number of plots that you would like. I'm just going to move these over so I have some room to work with this, and I'm going to make a text box. Drawing tools are right up here. It's a static toolbar. I go grab, make a box, and then I can type in, this is my text box. Really too small to see anything, so I want to go over here to the right. There's a pop-out menu that has all the text options. And I can make this big, and I can give it a color. I can change the font. And then I can also add keyword information here, which will update when I batch through the samples, because it's linked into the sample itself. I can right-click, go Insert Keyword. I pick the sample that I would like. In this case, I'm going to go to the one I'm working with. And I'm going to scroll down to the keywords. These are all the keywords in the data file. I'm going to add the patient ID. And then I'm going to right-click again and insert the second keyword as the stimulation. Highlight everything, make it big. Give it a color. Right. If I don't like the bounds, I can go to Object and I can change that line weight to nothing. Or I can remove the line color, or I can change the line weight to one line. I can then duplicate that text box or draw a second one, so I can just copy paste it if I want. Go down here, and then maybe I'll tell my boss that this is a CD8 positive T cell.